Welcome to the second half of what's been a lively Premier League Friday. Roberto De Zerbi takes charge of Spurs for the very first time on Super Sunday as they travel to Sunderland. He inherits a side without a win in all 13 of their league games in 2026. Despite that, De Zerbi has told Sky Sports' Natalie Gedra that he's convinced his players have what it takes to stay up.
How did it feel when you arrived here, especially the mood around the squad?
Attitude as a behavior on the pitch, character for me was a surprise because they are working very well. They are following me every day. Good guys, they are suffering for this moment. Romero, Van der Ven, Porro, Gallagher, Solanke, Richarlison, all are very good players. And the mental part is crucial, especially in this moment. Because it's tough, it's difficult, very difficult to keep the confidence high.
How's it been for you to find this balance between giving enough instructions but not too many?
It's a war in my head because I would like to, but after I say stay not too much, not too many principles because there is a football part and there is a mental part. Speaking about motivation, more solution to be calm, to be positive, and then on the pitch, okay, it's my work. I would like to see immediately one organization with the ball and without the ball, but it's not possible because there isn't too much time.
What is it about the project here in this club that makes you want to stay for long?
Yes, we have to make a big difference between these all 7 games and then we start to make a plan, to speak about the future. Now the focus is just on Sunderland. And then for the future, for sure, I don't want player if they don't want to stay, for sure. I would like to build with the club one strong team to help the Tottenham to stay at the top of the Premier League, or the top of the world, because they deserve it.
Roberto De Zerbi talking there. David, I'm going to come to you, man. Your old club. I mean,
go on, De Zerbi.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, is Roberto? Is he the man to save your club?
The club's been in such a difficult position this year. What they've done with the managers, the chopping and changing, Daniel going out of the football club. What an amazing football club. Everyone goes on about the stadium and the training ground, but the fans. You've got 100,000 people waiting on the season ticket holders list. They're unbelievable fans that have supported the club for everything they've been through, and hopefully De Zerbi can come in. What I've seen of him, sort of, Tottenham have put out these sort of training ground sort of clips online and so on. He's very on point. It seems like he knows what he's doing. He's obviously been in Marseille, dealt with a difficult situation, sort of club in the environment that he's worked in there. He did well out in Ukraine and did well there at Shakhtar. He did well at Brighton, but Brighton's, I think any manager that goes in at Brighton can have a sort of a reasonably sort of good time there. But hopefully De Zerbi can come in and sort of change things up. It's very difficult. 7 games, I think, with his methods and the way of playing and so on, with a long-term sort of philosophy of how we play and what we do, for a long-term sort of project over the next sort of 4 or 5 years with a long-term deal that they've given. But I think this concentration on these 7 games is so important.
Oh, it's beyond huge. It's beyond huge.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
when you look
from an Arsenal fan.
Coming from an Arsenal fan.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, what were you saying to me before?
I want them to stay. I like to have a derby in the season. I like it. But Jimmy, I want to show you just quickly some of these stats as well, because they don't make for great reading. I mean, obviously this is Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League in 2026. They're bottom basically of all of these in terms of points, wins, defeats, goals conceded, and goal difference. I mean, how big of a challenge? If the challenge wasn't already monumental, what's it for you? And no, David, I wasn't saying
you were buzzing with your tone of voice.
I'm
took one up a level.
I didn't. But
Excitement.
I'm intrigued at what Jimmy's going to have to say.
The only way is up, isn't it?
Yeah.
It can only get better.
If you were to try and put yourself in Roberto's situation now, and you think, and he looks at that and he goes, I guess where does he begin? Because he is quite a complex manager. As you say.
The thing is, he's very attacking. He's a very attacking manager. He scores, his team score a lot of goals. He commits a lot of players forward, especially in the box. And he gets a lot of goals against because his teams defend a lot 1v1 with big spaces behind them. So I think he will have to look at that and maybe be more pragmatic. I don't know if he can, but I think that's the only way forward because these boys are Spurs, especially in the back and midfield. They need some confidence. They need to get 1 or 2 games very quickly, keeping a clean sheet. And the moment they do that, I think they will gain a lot of confidence. There is a lot of quality in there. There is enough quality in there. If you look at the teams around them, I think they have got the most quality out of them. But you need to make a team out of it. Yeah. And the team has to be on the same page going forward.
But I mean, take us into what both of you, I guess. Take us into like a dressing room where I guess you're in a situation that it's not good, and then a new manager comes in. How long do you actually get before you need to start getting these brand new tactics? Do you know what I mean? Because Roberto's not going to have long, and are these Spurs players going to have enough time to fit into a brand new system?
I think it's not. It's about not complicating things. I think it's to simplify things. I think, and he has the luck that he has been there now quite a few days. Yeah, it's not long, but he can put the basics in order, and from there you build your blocks. Yeah. I think they're going to be all right. I personally think that it is going to be Spurs is going to be all right. I think the players they will get a buzz from him instantly because he is signed 5 years. He's in it with them. Yeah. You know, the one before that was a caretaker manager. Yeah. Different. He's in there. He can make decisions for long term, you know. So I think that will help the players.
Yeah, I sat down with Sam Allardyce a couple of weeks ago, and he's sort of famously sort of regarded within the Premier League as saving teams, keeping them up, and so on. I asked him the direct question, like, what is the immediate thoughts on what you would do when you go through the door? And he just said, stop goals going in, goals going in, get the whole team, and then. He couldn't be more right about Tottenham. They don't defend as a team. They concede too many easy opportunities. Like when teams come, especially at home, they get so many easy opportunities and that's why they concede so many goals. So I think it's just setting up them fundamentals within the next 7 games. Keep yourselves in the league, and just to think that Tottenham are going to be relegated is just incredible. It's just you can't even think of it, and just the whole infrastructure of the football club, and to allow that to happen, he just can't. He needs to concentrate on these 7 games, and then the philosophy, ideology, and pushing Spurs onwards, because they could. Become the biggest club in the world.
Okay, calm down. Calm down.
Oi. Chelsea and Arsenal.
Calm down. Step by step. Yeah.
I think look, Spurs have put their Premier League future in the hands of Roberto De Zerbi. But is his footballing philosophy what they need right now? We asked our resident Tactico Pythagoras in boots to investigate.
So Roberto De Zerbi to Tottenham. 7 games to go, 1 point above relegation. And the big question is, have Spurs just hired a philosopher in the middle of a 5? So no wins in 5, no league wins since December. This is survival football, and De Zerbi doesn't do survival football. At Brighton and Marseille, De Zerbi's teams have been built on one obsession: control through possession. We're talking 60% plus possession, centre-back split extremely wide, 3-2 build-up structures. So whether it's a 3-2-4-1 or a 4-2-3-1, it doesn't really matter. The key principle is trying to bait the press, because the moment you jump, they play straight through you. But here's the tension. Teams don't press like they used to. Teams are more wiser to that. They sit, they refuse to be baited. So that entire attacking mechanism becomes harder to trigger. Another flaw to that strategy is that when De Zerbi was at Brighton, only 3 teams in the league lost possession more in dangerous areas. So his teams are quite risky in the build-up third, and they give the ball away regularly in their own third. But is this risky style of football what Tottenham need? Under Thomas Frank and Igor Tudor, they were incredibly defensive, 11th for possession, 17th for open play XG. De Zerbi is a complete ideological reset. Now, if you look at that squad, even with injuries, you can actually see the logic, because if he did go 3-4-2-1 immediately, Kinski in goal for now, back three of Romero, Van der Ven, potentially Jed Spence, Porro and Udogie as wing-backs, and Gray partnered with, say, a Sarr or Polina, and then the 2 10s, Xavi Simons, Bergwijn behind a Solanke. Alternatively, with a bit of time on his hands, if he went with a 4-2-3-1, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie or Sousa at left back, Gray with Polina in midfield or Sarr, Tel on the right, Xavi Simons playing off the left with an overlapping left back, and Bergwijn at 10 with Solanke up top. So tactically, it can work, but the question is, can you install one of the most complex positional systems in Europe in 7 games? Because De Zerbi's football is not just about patterns, it's about timing of movements, angles of support, distances between players, press resistance under pressure. That does take months, it doesn't take weeks. But here's why it might work. Spurs aren't built to suffer, they're built to play. Under 2 reactive managers, they lost their identity. De Zerbi doesn't just give you tactics, he gives you clarity. Sometimes in a relegation fight, that's what makes the difference. So yes, it's risky. Yes, they might concede chances. Yes, it could go wrong. It's already been wrong. But if these players buy in, if they embrace the freedom, Tottenham might not survive by defending their way out of trouble. They might just be playing their way out of it.
So some interesting, points there from Pythagoras. Thank you so much for that one, mate. I mean, Jimmy, you were watching that with a keen eye. It's interesting. He was talking about the 2 different systems that Roberto De Zerbi could play, either with the 3 at the back or with the 4 at the back. I mean, how do you think they're going to line up?
I think it will be the 4 at the back initially, especially when they don't have the ball. When they have the ball, one of the full-backs will come into midfield. That's the modern way they do that now. Will come in at the back and they will make a 3. But as soon as they lose the ball, they will get back to that 4. I think the most important thing for Spurs is not really play that much out from the back. The goalkeeper, his strength is not really playing with the feet, and there's been a lot of mistakes made in the defensive third. And that is where the confidence drops.
But that doesn't really play into what,
It doesn't. He will have to change.
Yeah.
He will have to change for now. For these 7 matches, he will have to change.
And see next season.
Until he has more time and then implement his way, I think. Looking from outside in. I don't know how you see it. You will know them a lot better than I do. But
Vicario, with his ability on the ball, he's not sort of dynamic or good enough on the ball. You see,
it might be Kinski in goal.
Yeah,
we don't know,
potentially. But after what happened to him, it means he's a good goalkeeper, good shot stoppers.
Yeah.
But in the modern game and the way it is, the goalkeepers are number 10s now, aren't they?
Pressure's always on.
I'd rather have a goalkeeper that catches the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, look, David, we couldn't have you on the.
Yes, first of all, I'm proud. I'm happy to be here. I have to say thank to Vinay and Johan, because they showed me a big confidence. And now I have to work. And now we have to make points. I'm sure about the level of the players, because many players in the past I was very close to bring them in my former teams. They are working very well. I think I'm not better than Thomas Frank or Igor Tudor, because I consider them very good coaches. I try to bring my style, myself, my character, my personality, my passion, to help the player to, first of all, to show their qualities, because they have a lot of qualities, and then to reach, to achieve our target, because it's the most important part now, is our target.
Sounds like they've enjoyed your training too. Now you've worked with them for a week, are you even more confident that you can keep this huge club in the Premier League?
Yes. I knew before to work with them. I understood that they are good guys. The fans are. They have to be happy because all players are good guys. They are suffering for this difficult situation. I want to see on the game because during the week is easier, but I think the voice inside of the pitch is changed. I observed them at the beginning of my time last week, and now I'm more positive for sure.
Many Spurs fans are very happy with your appointment. If there are some that are still having concerns, what is your message to them?
I have no any message because also in the last game against Nottingham Forest they were fantastic before the game. No, the message is for my staff, for my players. We have to deserve their support because the fans are suffering like us, like the players. But for the fans, there is just one club, just one team. The player can change team, club, but for the fans is unique their club. So we have to make happy our fans, playing well, with the right spirit, with the right attitude, with the right behavior on the pitch, and then I think it's easier to make points.
Charlie.
Roberto, welcome
Thank
to
you.
Tottenham. I suppose the big question on a lot of people's minds is why do you take on this job at this particular time? Because of course the club are locked in a relegation battle, so why now?
Why now? Because you can consider, depends on your angle you look at the situation. From my perspective, was a big opportunity because Tottenham is one of the most important clubs in Premier League. Premier League is the best league in the world. I love the qualities of the players. We have a lot of specific player for my style. And then there was a crucial part. There was 12 days.
West Ham can take a big step towards safety if they beat Wolves tonight at home, and that victory would take them out of the bottom three. So, who will be the ones to avoid relegation? We're going to approach this from a West Ham point of view in this part. Is it simply must win for them?
Yeah, it's definitely must win. They need to get as many wins as possible. Every game is a cup final.
But Wolves at home, like if they don't win this.
You say Wolves at home though, Matt, and you know Wolves have been in good form. Yeah. They've been beating teams. They've been turning up and putting in big performances. The way West Ham beats Wolves is by matching the work rate. That's what they need to do. And Wolves work really hard. They've got pace in their side. You don't really say that West Ham have, but they need to work as hard as them to get a result. They've got some fantastic players. They need Somerville. Somerville needs to be there because he's been fantastic in the last few months. He's their danger man.
Could be available. We're not too sure.
Exactly.
On the way back.
I mean, you can't rush him because he can't come back in and then miss the rest of the season. But it's important that he plays. Again, Bowen, who's been their talisman over the last few years, he needs to come up trumps. Tati, he's been doing well. Hopefully Wilson will be back as well. Listen, they have the players to do it, but again, it's the work rate. You know, you've got to earn the right to play, win that battle. And then I think with Nuno, I think he's a very astute manager. Tactically, he's pretty good. So this is a must-win game, but it's not an easy one.
Do you think West Ham will stay up?
I think they will stay up. And
hang on a minute, you thought Spurs will stay up as well. So
Leeds. I think Leeds.
Down.
Yeah, I mean, I was with Leeds until a few weeks ago, to be honest, about a month ago. Then I started looking at it and saying, I'm not sure now, because they were solid at home, and then they started looking a bit fragile. There wasn't, scoring goals, and they was conceding again. And I feel like the pressure could get to them. I would hate to see West Ham go down, or Spurs, to be honest. And that's why I'm saying they'll stay up. West Ham.
Yeah, you're one of the very few Arsenal fans who want Spurs to
Oh, no, I said it all the time.
I agree with you.
I love seeing Spurs suffer, especially to Arsenal, but I don't want to see them going down, and I don't think it will be good for the Premier League.
No. And it's also 6 points that Arsenal won't have next season.
Yeah.
No, just joking. Right, for more on this, let's speak to West Ham fan Gonzo. Hello, Gonzo. Thanks for joining us. Always with a natty setup in his home studio. How are the nerves ahead of tonight?
Well, Matt, it's not just the chair that's squeaking today, I'll tell you that. It's going to be a long day. Friday night on Sky, of course, this evening. It's tough. Leeds are playing Monday as well, so we've actually got to wait the whole weekend to find out exactly how this next crucial round of fixtures is going to play out. Got to say, Jay, really loving what you're saying there about West Ham staying up. Last time I was on here, Earnshaw was on here, and he had us to go down, so I much prefer what you're saying, mate.
There you go.
Gonzo, can I say one thing, please? Can I address you by your government name? I can't call you Gonzo.
You say this every time, and you end up calling me Gonzo, but call me Chris by all means.
All right, Chris. All right.
That's very formal. Listen, just first name will do.
No, exactly. Chris, what do you think of Nuno as a manager? Do you feel like he's got this team drilled now? Do you feel like he's got the confidence in the squad to get the results to stay up?
I really do, and I would say if that wasn't the case, it's taken him a long time to settle in. You talked about work rate just before, a couple of minutes ago. We've got that, and we didn't have it before. And I think what he's done in January by bringing in Tati, who you referred to, and Pablo, they're both workaholics. So now we're pressing from the front. You spoke about the pace as well. You're right, Wolves are much, much quicker than us, and you've got to give the context.
Yeah.
Before we played them earlier in the season, they hadn't won a Premier League game, turned us over, stuck 3 goals past us. But if we play some of them, we do play Traore, we are able to have a little bit of pace in the team. Well, a lot of pace in the team in wide areas. But we will be working hard. The players are playing for him. That's one thing. I look around at other clubs and you don't know what's going to happen at Tottenham. Tottenham lose against Sunderland, as you hear, as well as De Zerbi's training drills have gone. That's going to be very, very hard to give them a set of instructions and make any team talk believable. The players are bought into what Nuno's doing, and his assistant, Paco Gemes, who's come in, would have liked him to have come in earlier, actually. It seems a really good vibe around the club, actually.
Do you think that was a good move then, like getting rid of the likes of Paquetá and people like that looked like he wasn't a good team player?
In hindsight, yes, I really, really do. Sometimes it takes him to be removed to realise quite how harmful to the team spirit it was. And I don't even think he's necessarily a toxic character, Jay. I just think maybe the hearing hanging over him for so long, and the fact he didn't want to be there. You know better than me. You've been in changing rooms and you know what that's like. You also had Fulkrug there. I think when you've got a nucleus of players who don't want to be there, as talented as they may be, replacing them and bringing in people that just want to be there and love the club and are fighting for everything and buying into whatever the mantra is that the manager's giving, that's got to be so important, just getting rid of those players who are not buying into the messaging, really.
Jay reckons that it'll be Leeds that could go down. But as you mentioned there, if you win tonight, then it's Spurs who are in the bottom 3 and you're out of it before they play Sunderland. So who do you think is the team that's vulnerable that you could finish ahead of and drag into that bottom 3?
Well, it's funny. I'm aligned with Jay on this, actually, because obviously we played
Chris,
Leeds.
you know your football.
Well, it's been said before, Jay, to be honest. Leeds, we played them in the Cup, right? They got injuries to Stack and Rodham. And, I mean, they've been really, really crucial players for them, particularly with the set plays. Rodham, well, he's been a nightmare against us, quite frankly. They're big misses for them as well. I don't think they've had a win in a little while. And the big matches which you would really have thought they would have won, a couple of night matches at Elland Road, they've not won, really. And they would have had them down as big winnable ones. The Tottenham one, as I just go back to it, I'm really fascinated by what's going to happen at Sunderland. If they come away with Stadium at Light with a loss. I really do think, listen, you're going to be running it on here back to back. There's going to be an implosion of a fallout from the Tottenham fans and everything else. There is pressure on them. And I think possibly with West Ham, we've been under pressure for so long, we're a little bit more acclimatised. We're at least, I guess, the least surprised that we're in a relegation scrap.
How important is Somerville, if you can get him back? Because we're hearing that he's on his way back to fitness. How important is it to have him for the whole run-in, really?
Absolutely crucial. I think he probably could have played him against Leeds in the Cup, and he made the decision not to. And the funny thing is, he did actually get injured in the previous round in the Cup against Brentford. So where Nuno was cautious and Leeds weren't, they appear to have suffered because of that. So he'll feature tonight. I'm very, very certain of that. Whether he starts or not, I don't know. But the rumour is that Nuno's going to go with an attacking team tonight.
I feel like he doesn't get enough credit, Alvarez. I think he's been fantastic as well in that midfield. He's good going forward. He's industrious. He makes tackles, interceptions, but then he's good with the passes going forward as well. What do you think of him?
You mean Fernandes?
Sorry, Fernandes. Sorry, yeah. My fault.
No.
Got rid of Alvarez already.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking about Alvarez coming from Atletico to Arsenal. Sorry, Fernandes, yeah.
He's brilliant. We've really struggled to hang on to him, irrespective of whether we stay in the division or not. He does have a bit of everything. We paid nearly £40 million for him. Looked pricey from Southampton, particularly a relegated team. He's brilliant. You could make a good case that he might be our best player over the season. He may well win Hammer of the Year, quite possibly. So, yeah, magnificent player.
Gonzo, we've got to get a quick prediction out of you, mate, before we take a break. What do you reckon is going to happen tonight, West Ham v Wolves?
We have to win, Matt. I'm going to go for 2-0, but it ain't going to be easy.
2-0. Okay, that would be a big one.
What are you going for?
I think West Ham will probably win, yeah.
What?
It doesn't matter what